I want you to think of a gym. Like, we're your trainers. Don't feel like you need to get fit before you join the gym. It's a silly concept when you think about it. Like, the gym is there for you to help you get fit. So all of you are getting fit in some element of your teen coaching. It's coaching skills, speaking, DMs, sales, but we're here to help you train and get fit for that. But remember, manage your expectations, because you're going to suck at it for a little while until you get better. Awesome. And yeah, Chris is 100% on it. It's just a matter of time. So when you think of walking into a gym, you're looking at what's the gym membership? How are we actually going to get you through this timeline training and getting fit with us? I want you to always refer back to our practitioner genius model. Now, if you're looking at your manual right now, we're looking at page, I believe, forgive me if I'm incorrect, but we're looking at page 15 in your manual. Okay. If you wanted to open up to your manual right now, this is the membership, that gym that's going to help you get fit and really excel your impact and income with teen coaching. And we're going to go through it very briefly right now up on screen, or you're following through and highlighting through your workbook. When in doubt, come back to your model and assess, where are my strengths, where are my weaknesses or areas of growth. Now, when it comes to teen coaching, we're going to go a bit high chunk at the moment, right? We're not going to get stuck in like the how-to step-by-step right now, but a bit of high chunk. We want to help you immerse your teenagers into this way of life. What does life look and mean like to them? But importantly, how are we putting that into action? Your role as a teen coach is to create a culture of action takers. Write that down for yourself. I'm creating a culture of teenagers and parents who take action, not who vents and complain about their life. They take action because I only want to hear the problem once. The next stage is we're talking about solutions. That is what you do as a teen coach, no matter the context, academics, athletics, relationships, etc., business, entrepreneurship, etc. The second part with immersion is you're creating an alliance with the family and their community. I want to know who my teenagers hang around. I don't just want to coach them. I want them to create a strong alliance with their friends. So when they stop working with me, they've got a really strong alliance with the community that they're already in. Sounding good? Same with their parents. A big win for your teen coaching outcome is to build a stronger relationship with mum and dad at the same time. For mum and dad to see their teen for who they are through a new set of lenses as a result of teen coaching. Cool? And then when it comes to immersion, creating accountability, what does accountability look like? By the way, remember how I said I'm helping you design and co-create this for the way it looks and means like to you? This is a prime example. Is I don't want to just tell you what accountability looks like. I want you to think and design for how you want to create accountability. So an example here is helping mom or dad follow up with a teenager in the home throughout the week before they see me next. Because I don't want the teenager just to rely on my accountability. I want to boost that up in the home for when they don't see me, because they're spending more time with their family than me. So if you're loving this, guys, so far, type in love. You will win as a teen coach when you start thinking about, am I creating action takers? Am I building up leaders who take action? Am I creating an alliance, or I'm helping them create an alliance in their world through school, family, church, sport, tutoring, etc.? And then am I helping them create accountability, not just with me, but the people they love and hang around? Because remember, like, if you take them out of an environment and then you take them back to that environment and nothing's changed, well, there goes all the coaching and effort. You know, you want to make sure their environment is flourishing at the same time. Sounds like a lot of work, doesn't it? Type in yes for me. This is why we charge high ticket, because this takes work. It's you charging for your time, you charging for your skill sets, but you can make a lot of money when you just really own the fact that this is a lot of work and I'm just going to charge for it, which means you don't need that many clients to build a very profitable coaching business. You just require courage to finally own the fact that your program is way worth more than what you're currently charging. That's the immersion piece from the practitioner model. The next piece is your intentions around this and making this very clear by building rapport with the family, not just the teenagers. Like, I really want to get involved with the family in any way or form that I can. And so I don't just want to hang out with a teen. Like, I want to have checkpoints with the parents along the way. I want to fall in love with getting to understand the family. Now, that might require coaching the parents or just having checkpoints. But I want to feel like, to some extent, that I'm invited into someone's home. That's powerful. I want you to involve yourself more, because some of you can coach the siblings as well and have family packages. You know, I don't only coach your son, I can coach your daughter, and this is like a deal that I can create, or throw in a cousin at the same time. You know, so what might have been a 2K package can end up being a $5,000 package because you threw in a sibling, or you threw in a parent, or you threw in a cousin. That's how our teen coaches and practitioner have been able to charge $5,000, $10,000 and so forth, because they're going for the rapport with the family, the alliance with the family. The second part is falling on the research. Don't fall on just the resources, fall on the research, because the resources will change. Is that cool? The resources will change. A gratitude tree might not work for every kid. A gratitude journal. Some kids hate journaling. Does that make sense? So we're not falling on the resource, we're falling on the research of why gratitude is so important to building a teenage brain. So whatever you use in your programs, whether that's through our resources or someone else's, just make sure you're falling on, like, what's the research and how am I helping them build a healthy brain and positive emotions and belief systems at the same time. The next one is intention with referrals. So a lot of you have referrals right now, and others, it's a room for improvement to start systemizing that process. But you also want to make it very clear that you don't just want to help one family, you want to help someone else that they might know. So it becomes a habit of asking. If you don't knock on the door won't open. So make sure you remind yourself to ask in the process, by the way, do you know another parent or one of your friends or anyone else in the community that might be interested? But it's you leading with brand and story. Because here's the thing, if you haven't learned this yet, a lot of parents carry shame or embarrassment for getting a coach for their kid. If you've ever felt that before, type in feels. You want to control that narrative. Your coaching becomes a status now. Is that cool? Not a burden. You're selling status. So it's kind of like when everyone gets that new shiny object, respectfully, like, you need to position that as, well, look what this new opportunity is. You know, Mary got that for her son. I want that for my daughter. I want that for my son. So you need to create FOMO in your branding. Does that make sense, team? But if you're not doing that yet, you got to start doing that in 2024. It's the new opportunity for families right now. It's no longer I'm hiding away from getting coaching because I'm embarrassed to receive help. It's coaching is this new opportunity to give my kid an advantage. I'm proud that we have a coach. Then I'm going to talk to my friends about the coach I've hired. The market is heading there, by the way. A lot of athletes, politicians, celebrities, they're starting to talk about therapy and coaching. If you watch Jay Shetty's podcast, he has celebrities on his podcasts now. You know, like, you might hate or you might like or not like them, but the Kardashians are even talking about therapy and life coaching. So the younger generation, they're catching on to this conversation, and it's now the new hype. But respectfully, we need to leverage the hype. Is that cool? It's a new trend. People want therapists. People want life coaches. You're in a very unique position where you have an advantage to leverage the hype. Awesome. Has that shifted your mentality, by the way? Type in shift for me. A lot of famous athletes have Tony Robbins as their life coach. This is no longer a secret anymore. Our society is heading there. Definitely leverage the hype. So if you have stories around your own coach, your own therapist. You have stories around celebrities and famous athletes who have coaches. Like, start utilizing that and creating that, because then parents will say, cool, like that parent has a life coach for their kid. Out of FOMO, I want the same, right? Parents can be quite competitive, in a loving, respectful way. Alrighty, one more. Are you ready for one more? Type in yes for me. The last pillar here inside your practitioner model, where you're always referring back to when you feel stuck, when you feel like you need a boost, you're going to come back and evaluate. Building influence. Money and influence is what's going to help you continuously upgrade and evolve your team coaching. Now we look at social proof. Coaching clients, pro bonos, all of your pro bonos in the beginning, we need to gather testimonials. We call them case studies now, but it's formerly known as testimonials. But we need to now start showing social proof. Now, don't think you need coaching clients to have social proof. You can gather social proof from youth ministry or your colleagues or the kids in your classrooms and schools. Just take their name out, but get resourceful around what social proof looks like. Awesome. But when in doubt, coach for free and get your first 10 case studies and start marketing that. On average, let me know in the chat right now, how many case studies do you have? For some of you, you have hundreds. Others, you're just starting out. But this now becomes a new norm. If you feel like you have a lot, I'm going to encourage you to now start thinking about, how do I systemize this, where it becomes like an automated thing where people are just submitting case studies as they go. Awesome. Plenty, a lot. Amazing. So let us know also on that note, how often do you post a case study or social proof? Is it daily, weekly, monthly, never? Type that in the chat for me, because we're also building your action item lists up as we speak. I don't. Great feedback. Not enough. Great feedback. When the test scores come in, awesome. And Carla's on it weekly. So what I want you all to start doing is take it up a notch. Go to weekly, and you might want to do it daily. Like, I post offers every day in my stories. Who watches my stories? Type in me. I hope you watch my stories to watch what I do. But essentially, like, if you want to take it up a notch, just make another offer. You want to create more trust in the market, post another case study. Now, I love to leverage stories because it's more of an intimate approach in the stories. It's less spammy on the profile. But great feedback for all of you is post more. Remind people, Facebook's a very loud world. You might think you've posted enough, but reality is someone else is posting more than you. So that's either you or a virtual assistant. In due time, we help you hire assistants and practitioner. But the great feedback here is you're all not posting enough around the amazing results you're generating for your teenagers and your parents. Was that a big lesson for all of you? Type in thanks, Lanita, because it's very important. Remember, it might not be a big deal to you, but it's a big deal to the masses. And you got to remind parents that you're great at what you do. That goes a long way in the market, which will help, of course, your sales. That's going to help you generate more sales, social proof, trust. When your branding is strong and you're portraying your social proof way more often, you're removing resistance, limiting beliefs, objections. Now, the key here, do you want a sales hack? I'm only going to give you like one sales hack today. So type in hack for me. When you share social proof, you've got to make sure you're handling an objection when you share social proof. Does this make sense? So when I post a screenshot or I post a video testimonial, I need to make sure in that context, I'm handling a parent objection. What does that look like? For example, I have a teen screenshot of a message, but I'll share a story in that post. What really allowed me to be able to help this teenager was the fact that I sat on a consult with their mother. But during that consult, the mother had this really interesting objection where she thought her teenager wasn't interested, but this is how I handled it. Does this make sense, guys? Are you tracking? I'm handling an objection via a social proof post. So your screenshot is actually not enough. It's learning how to handle an objection. as you post. Now, you can also do that through an interview. So if you ever watch interviews with like clients of ours, you start to see I'm handling objections and limitations through the questions that I ask. That's sales mastery right there. That will take your sales and branding game to a whole new level, because screenshots are not enough. Feedback is not enough. I need to handle the objection through the feedback. Awesome. I'm going to let that simmer, let you guys process that. And then to take that, of course, to a different level, it's through stories. I create parent stories and teen stories, not just for empowerment, for sales. Right? Does this make sense? I'm not just sharing a client story. I'm sharing how they handled an objection. You're going to hear me say things like that. Every person who ascended into mastery had a money objection. So I'm going to be sharing stories around how they were able to handle that money objection, because it's not the level, it's not the resources, it's the level of resourcefulness to ascend to the next level. You don't need money to build a business. You need courage. You need resourcefulness. That is literally an example I just gave you on how I've been able to handle the money objection through a client story, and also through a metaphor as well. Don't just share stories. You're sharing stories to handle objections in your marketing, in your content, on your parent consults. So one example on a parent consult is if someone tells you, my spouse is not interested, or my spouse has, whatever it is, that it's a spouse objection, you would say, hey, Mary, I totally get that. Can I share a story about Carol? Carol was in the exact same position where she was really scared to ask for permission. So I really helped empower Carol to not ask for permission, but actually ask for support. As a mum or a wife, did you ever feel like there were times where you just needed to ask for support rather than permission from your husband? And talk me through that time. Does that make sense? So I'm not pushing that agenda. I'm just empowering mum through Carol's story to handle an objection. That could be on a parent consult, or that could be through your marketing and content posts. So now with speaking, with your storytelling, you're now coming from unapologetically, because we're business owners, you're coming from a sales angle. Because my moral obligation as a teen coach is to handle objections, because I'm fighting for the child. I need to fight for the teen when the parent is not fighting for the teen. You get that, right? That's why I handle objections. That's why I make more offers. That's why I don't let the parent off the hook. If they tell me a money objection, I want to handle that for the sake of the child. When mum's in her own way, or when dad's in his own way, like that's leadership as a teen coach. Not let them go because you don't want to hurt their feelings. Like, hurt their feelings, trigger them respectfully, pour salt on the wound. If not now, when? Because I know you need me right now. So in sales, it's always energy and rapport. But when you do it through your content, social proof, storytelling, it takes pressure off the sales call. So that's why I need you guys to post more and learn how to put value and objection handling in your content, so you take pressure off the actual call in itself. The problem is not the objection. The problem is you either didn't handle it or you weren't ready for it. I know that cuts deep, because like when I say that to myself, I'm like, damn it, I thought I was going to be ready for it and I received a no. You either weren't ready to handle it, or you didn't prepare for it, or you didn't handle it at the beginning of the call. And that's okay. You get better at it. Remember, now you know you suck. Conscious incompetence. It's painful until you get better at actually handling sales. There you have it. The model is there for you to refer back to and reflect on where you're sitting and self-assess and analyze. When in doubt, come back to the model.